Right as the 2026 Formula One Championship battle was reaching its boiling point, a major controversy suddenly erupted, putting Lewis Hamilton at the centre of global attention. This time, it wasn't because of a thrilling on-track battle, but due to shocking allegations that the string of penalties he received may have stemmed from flaws in the FIA's measurement system. If these claims proved to be true, it would not only have affected Hamilton's championship campaign, but also raised serious questions about the integrity of the entire 2026 Formula One season. Has Hamilton become the victim of a flawed system? Or is there an even more surprising truth behind this controversy? Let's discuss. The controversy began after several technical reports revealed irregularities in the way Hamilton's penalties were issued. What initially appeared to be a simple driver error quickly evolved into a much larger issue involving sensor technology, timing systems, and the FIA stewards' decision-making process. Even Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur, who is typically known for remaining calm when responding to FIA rulings, eventually began expressing his frustration publicly. The first incident occurred at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, Hamilton's home race and one of the most anticipated events of the season. Instead of celebrating a memorable result in front of his home fans, Hamilton was handed a 5-second penalty for allegedly committing a false start. According to the stewards, his Ferrari moved before the starting lights had completely gone out. Ferrari, however, had a different set of data. The team's internal sensors showed that the car had not moved at all. The stewards based their decision on footage from the onboard camera. The video appeared to show a very slight rotation of the rear tyres, approximately 42 millimeters. That movement was smaller than the width of a human hand. While the tyre rotation was technically visible on camera, Ferrari argued that such a minimal movement should never be classified as a false start, especially when every onboard sensor detected no actual forward movement of the car. Fred Vasseur immediately voiced Ferrari's objections to the media. He described the ruling as overly harsh and difficult to justify. According to him, if the vehicle's sensors, specifically designed to detect car movement, registered no violation whatsoever, then issuing a penalty based solely on such a tiny amount of tyre rotation seemed fundamentally unfair. Hamilton's troubles did not end there. During the same race, he received another penalty for allegedly failing to slow down sufficiently while passing through a yellow flag zone at turn 9 after Nico Hülkenberg's car came to a stop on the circuit. Ferrari explained that the yellow flag warning only appeared on Hamilton's steering wheel display after he had already entered the affected sector, leaving him with very little time to react. Nevertheless, the stewards concluded that even after the warning appeared, Hamilton had still failed to reduce his speed enough, and the penalty remained in place. In a single race weekend, Hamilton was forced to accept 2 separate penalties. The first was based on just 42 millimeters of tyre rotation that was not detected by the car's sensors, while the second resulted from what Ferrari claimed was a delayed yellow flag warning system. The situation prompted Ferrari to begin questioning the consistency of the stewards' decision-making process. Fred Vasseur later described the psychological impact these repeated rulings were having on the team. According to him, each individual penalty might seem insignificant on its own, but when they continue to accumulate throughout an entire season, the pressure builds up like one small stone after another until it eventually affects the driver's confidence, the team's strategy, and ultimately the battle for the World Championship. The controversy continued into the following rounds. At the Hungarian Grand Prix, Hamilton was once again penalised for exceeding the pit lane speed limit by the slightest margin. FIA data showed that Hamilton's Ferrari reached approximately 80.5 km per hour, while Ferrari's telemetry recorded around 80.6 km per hour. The maximum permitted speed, however, was exactly 80 km per hour. In other words, the alleged violation amounted to only about 0.1 km per hour. Ferrari accepted the decision because, technically, Hamilton had exceeded the limit. However, Fred Vasseur questioned whether such a tiny margin truly deserved a penalty that could affect the outcome of the race. In his view, decisions like these leave teams feeling as though they are constantly being punished over margins that have virtually no real impact on safety or the competition itself. As the debate intensified, a new revelation emerged that immediately shook the Formula One paddock. A technical report revealed that during the previous Monaco Grand Prix, an inconsistency had been discovered in the FIA's timing and measurement system. According to the report, the position of the timing line at the pit lane entry had shifted by approximately 77 centimetres due to physical changes made to the track barriers. At first glance, that number may seem insignificant. However, in a highly precise speed measurement system like Formula One, even a slight shift in the position of the timing line without proper recalibration can affect the accuracy of the recorded data. This discovery quickly raised major questions among teams, the media, and technical analysts. If one measurement system had already been proven to contain an inconsistency, how much confidence could anyone have that every other penalty issued throughout the season had been calculated accurately? That question transformed Hamilton's case from a simple driver's complaint into a much larger issue involving the credibility of Formula One's entire officiating and monitoring system. Fred Vasseur, who had initially tried to remain diplomatic, eventually began changing his tone. After reviewing the series of incidents throughout the season, he was reportedly shocked to see that many of the decisions followed a similar pattern. They were all based on extremely narrow measurement margins. According to several sources in the paddock, Ferrari has started to believe this may no longer be an isolated human error, but rather something far more systematic. Lewis Hamilton himself has expressed his frustration several times over the team radio. During the Hungarian Grand Prix, he said that the stewards were too quick to hand out penalties. After the race, Hamilton also stated that whenever he gave the officials even the slightest opportunity to judge one of his actions, they almost always penalised him. Those comments are now receiving renewed attention following the allegations of potential issues with the FIA's measurement system. The controversy has become even more significant because of Hamilton's position in the championship standings. After the Hungarian Grand Prix, he trailed the championship leader by around 50 points. While that is a considerable gap, many people have begun wondering what the standings would look like today if some of those penalties had never been issued. Although there is no guarantee Hamilton would be leading the championship, many believe the points deficit would be significantly smaller, keeping the title fight much more open. The debate has now divided the Formula One world into two opposing camps. One side argues that the rules must be enforced without compromise. If the pit lane speed limit is 80 km per hour, then travelling at 80.1 km per hour is still technically a violation. On the other hand, a growing number of people are questioning whether the measurement system is truly accurate enough to justify penalties that can determine race results and potentially even decide the World Championship. What do you think? Was Lewis Hamilton truly a victim of a flawed FIA system? Or were all of the penalties fully justified? Share your opinion in the comments below.